नमो नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वती देव्यै नमो नमः। ओम श्री आंगिरासाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री कपिलाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री गर्गाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री वेदव्यासाय नमो नमः। ओम श्री धर्माय नमो नमः। ओम श्री मातृशक्त्यै नमो नमः। ओम श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमो नमः। My humble pranam to all the audience. Thank you very much for joining in today. And we had embarked our journey together on this course starting June 3rd. And today is the last lecture reaching a destination or called the station. That's the first station will continue. And I hope you had a chance to go back and review some of the lectures. And I also realized, and I've been talking to you that, yes, the topics that I have been covering are complex, difficult for many of you, yet they are the abstract foundational principles for the entire Vedic Hindu civilization. So as we finish today's lecture, we'll give you some preview for the next course will be coming up shortly. So please bear with me and let's move on. Today we are going to focus especially on Yogadharma-Kshetra. Very briefly, and I hope you will all love it when I disclose the hidden secret to you. Let us look at the first slide here, beauty and wonder of nature. And this is the Jog Falls in somewhere in Karnataka, the place visited by Pietro della Valle, a Roman citizen in 17th century. If you look at this picture, we will find out and we will experience the beauty and wonder. And this is really when you have such an experience by looking only at the picture. This is the yogic connections. And once you be there physically with all your senses, the entire body is there amidst this particular beauty and wonder, that will be experience of what you call Yogadharma-Kshetra. So beauty itself is a Saundari Yoga Kshetra. Whenever you see the beauty around, that it's attractive to us, that is really a Saundari Yoga Kshetra. So we are going to explore. The background is, please refer to the slides of previous lectures. And great question is how we started with Lokasamgraha. And They delineated all the essential features, founding principles. And so now we'll move on to the other part of the course called What is the Yogadharma-Kshetra? This lecture will propose and discuss new classification categories to address yoga and tradition totality. Its pervasiveness is wonder and beauty. So we are again, and this, because the time limit, I will give you an overview and briefly discuss some essential features. And this particular talk may run through full 60 minutes. So I apologize for it. I hope you can bear with this. Yogakshetra. These are the, you might have heard only yoga, postures, asana, or Ashtanga yoga, or Patanjali Ashtanga yoga. You should have also heard the 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. Each chapter is a yoga. And first chapter is called Vishad Yoga. How the Vishad can be a yoga? That's the question. How Vishad can be yoga? That's the question. It's a wonderful, beautiful question. As we go along, we will discuss the features, and then it will come naturally to us, the meaning behind the Vishad Yoga. It's a Yogakshetra is a very polyvalent and multidimensional. And it has a hidden field, Kshetra. This hidden field appears under different contexts and situations, different times, and different level of consciousness when we dwell upon it. Look at the primary meanings. To yoke, to connect, to bind, to unite, to unify, to harness, to meditate, to recollect, to be harmoniously linked, to be integrated, to be logically connected. Any two entities are being connected harmoniously, logically, meaningfully, will come under what we call the field of yoga. Second level here, to harness, re-embody the creative forces of the universe, to control and manipulate these forces after attainment of the divine powers called siddhis. There's another level of understanding of the Yogakshetra. Ultimately attaining liberation, Keval, the total autonomy and freedom from the apparent entanglement of the material nature. Keval is a moksha dharma. Attainment of that one and the process that we involve and the attainment itself is called the moksha dharma yoga. Under these categories, you have some derivatives, combinations, mixture, synthesis, relation, application, remedy, device, order, fitness, meditative abstraction, mental concentration, etc. And you will not be surprised if I tell you the class idea of the class itself is a combination of the audience itself, the yogic kshetra. Bhakta as me and Srota as you, this meeting is itself the Yoga Kshetra between Bhakta and Srota. This is. So if you look around you, every entity will have its own Yoga Kshetra. Let's look at, for example, yoga for health and healing. This is called Ayush Yoga, Ayurveda Yogadharma. Sickness, old age, death are avoided by one who has obtained a body made out of the fire of yoga. So body itself becomes a yogic entity. When you are situated yourself within all the organs, karmendriya, gyanendriya, into this process of yogic integration within yourself, within internal world. It's called the fire of yoga. And performing dharma, we will define later on dharma with Dharma Kshetra, all economic prosperity, fulfilling personal desires, attainment of the final liberation, health is most important. Disease are the robbers of this source as well as a splendor of living, Charak Samhita. So where the disease come from? Disease in Ayurvedic traditions, disease in our Yoga Kshetra tradition are called adharma, adharmic kshetra, adharmic yoga kshetra, kuyog kshetra. Just like the coronavirus, when virus comes into the body, it gets entangled with our cell structure, cellular structure, and this integration or this union is kuyoga, adharma, because it is harmful, this is damaging, it can lead to death of the human body, which is the host for this virus. So very, very important to realize as we go along, we will meeting Yogadharma-Kshetra, we will also meeting with Adharma, Kuyog Kshetra. Let's look at from Bhagavatam, yogic powers. Primary yogic powers. Anima, capacity to assume infinitesimal form. Mahima, capacity to assume big form like mountain. Laghima, capacity to assume lightness. Prapti, capacity to fully control all the indriyas, sense and cognitive. Prakam, capacity to secure all the worldly and otherworldly pleasures. Vasita, capacity to embody the divine attributes. Isita, capacity to propel Maya power. Kam Vasitve, capacity to fulfill all desires. Capacity to overcome hunger, thirst, birth, death, grief, and delusion. Capacity to see far, far distances. Capacity to hear sounds from far, far distances. Capacity to reach wherever mind goes. Capacity to create another body form and enter into other living body. Capacity to leave body at will. Capacity to be with gods and goddesses and other divine beings. Capacity to know the past and future events. Capacity to restrain the inherent powers of sun, Agni, water, wind. Capacity to not get defeated by anyone. These are the primary 18 yogic powers that can be attained that can be achieved through different kind of yogic sadhana. Let us sing some new songs, Yoga-Kshetra. I call this a language yoga. Bhasha yoga. Word is a union of letters. Sentence is a union of words. Paragraph is a union of sentences. Essay, documents, books, scriptures, etc. are union of paragraphs. This union at every level can be yogic union. In fact, Sanskrit language is a yogic language. That's the only language in the world which is a yogic language grounded in the natural sound vibration of human voice. So this human voice has all the sound vibration that had been identified, codified through the Sanskrit language. As a result, the Nad Brahma has become the foundational ground for all kinds of sound vibrations. And the entire Vedic wisdom scriptures are set to music, Sangeet, in different meters. That's the foundation behind our Vedic worldview. How do you express it? How do you make it visible? Through our Gyanendriya. How it becomes visible? Through sound vibrations. And each kshetra embodying words or sentence or paragraph or essay has its own dharma. Word has its own dharma, sentence its own dharma, paragraph is own dharma, essay, document, scriptures have own dharma. But they are intersecting with each other. Let us do 3 letters, G, D, G, O, and combine them together in different combinations, different order. DOG, dog, becomes living entity, Purusha plus body. God, same 3 letters become God, transcendental divine creator, Lord. Now, further combinations are possible. For example, DGO is a combination, it's a union, but this is it does not have any, DGO does not have any meaningful field. I call it Mithya Yoga. OGD similarly is Mithya Yoga. ODG similarly is Mithya Yoga. GDO similarly Mithya Yoga. So you combine different entities including the language, you will have what we call the various meanings. At the same time, some combination will have no meaning at all. So this combination becomes then Mithya Yoga. Fake combination. It does not give us a new entity which has a meaning and its own existence, its own dharma. Mithya means unreal, fake, meaningless. Let's look at another entity, water. Hydrogen for oxygen becomes water, source and ground for life. This whole field of material existence I call is Adibhautik Yoga-Kshetra. I've given this new term, Adibhautik Yoga-Kshetra. Arithmetic yoga, 2 plus 4 equal to 6, arithmetic yoga. And I think in Hindi language it's also called yoga. It's called arithmetic yoga. Kuyoga is opposite to yoga. Ati yoga, excessive yoga. And let me give one example. You will love it. When body is developed, human body is developed from a single cell, fertilized cell, and then it becomes 2, 4, 8, 16, and then it started developing different organs and components and all that. And you will find out eventually we have organs, tissues and organs. And each organ within the body has its own configuration. And the development of the whole process through differentiation and integration together. This is the yogic process. This is the yogic process which requires differentiation as well as integration, union, such that each organ reaches its own limit. If you have excessive differentiation or excessive union not built into the driving forces to develop this body, you will have abnormal body. So this is the kind of Ati Yoga. The first appearance of the word dharma appears in Rig Veda 1.12.7 and Samved 1.3.12. And the second one in sequence appears in Rig Veda 1.22.18. First is the prayers of the Kavi Agni. We offer prayers to the Kavi Agni, full of divine effulgence, an embodiment of Satya Dharma, Satya Dharma Advare. An annihilator of suffering in this Ahimsa Yagna. Advare means Ahimsa Yagna. Satya Dharma. The Satya term is just so wonderful, beautiful. I'm not going to go into it and wait till next course. Satyam param dhimahi. We always talk about Satyam. Satyam is not truth. One aspect of the Satyam is the truth in phenomenal world and practical world. But Satyam is much more than that. Then second one appears to be Trin pada vichakrame vishnun gopa adabhya ato dharmani dharayan. The unconquerable and protector of all, the divine Vishnu, with embodiment of all dharma, take all the three strides. Agni have three kshetra, Adidevic, Adhyatmic, Adibhautik Dharma Kshetra, and presence in all the three lokas. Three strides. Vishnu, divine Vishnu, take all the three strides. Whatever is number 3 divided into segments, entity into 3, Sat, Rajatam, the foundation of Prakriti, and Maya, foundation of each and every entity. that can be looked at, defined as, expanded upon three kshetras, Sat, Rajatam. These are the three strides. Adidhavik, Adhyatmik, Adibhautik. These are also three strides of Bhagwan Vishnu. Bhurvaswa, Tasta Vitarovaredyam Bhargo. Bhurvaswa, three lokas are also strides of Bhagwan Vishnu. So dharmani means embodiment, holding within our own personality that entity which is not only meaningful, useful for our internal world, but also meaningful, useful for external world. Lokasamgraham. That entity, those ideas, those viewpoints, those aspects of our existence come under the what you call field of dharma, dharma kshetra. Adibhautik dharma kshetra, for example, physical fire, heat energy, light energy, chemical properties, electromagnetic radiations, etc. Then as a term comes Swabhava Swadharma Kshetra of any entity, all entities in the existence. What are the determinants of Swabhava Kshetra? Names, structure, properties, active potential, mutation, and internal time. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma. Mutation means bikarma. Mutation means also a karma. And internal time. These are the 6 determinants for the Swabhava Kshetra. Siddhant. This is the Siddhant I am giving you. Union of an entity with its own Dharma Kshetra, with another entity B, with its own Dharma Kshetra, is the yogic union creating an entity C that will have its own Dharma Kshetra. So whenever union, proper sanyoga, proper yoga takes place between two different entities containing their own dharma, third entity created will have a set of new dharmas emerging out of this union. Swabhava Kshetra and Swabhava Dharma Kshetra, they remain immersed in each other in the domain of Adibhautik Kshetra. And they get separated in the human beings. So I am proposing some new dimensions. You may not have heard them. You may not have come across them or read about them. They as such are not found in primary scriptures. The new dimensions are foundational categories. Srishti Yoga Dharma Kshetra, Sustenance Yoga Dharma Kshetra, Dissolution Yoga Dharma Kshetra. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya. Within these categories, broader classification, a broader kshetra, we can define and discuss meaningfully, experience all kinds of Yoga Dharma Kshetra. Even in dissolution, a state of pralaya, it has own Yoga Dharma Kshetra. Then we have existential Yoga Dharma Kshetra, another classification. All orders, harmony, organic, unified, diversity, duties, actions, yoga integration, etc., all the levels of organization within the totality of existence, in all the domains, layers and dimensions of Adidevic, Adhyatmic, Adibhautik Kshetra fields dealing with Prakriti, Purush, and Purushottam. This is, I'm giving you the picture, big picture, comprehensive, covering the total encompassing the total existence and beyond. And then we will eventually going to consider a specific Dharma Kshetra out of this global, all-pervading Dharma Kshetra. Please note here, Dharma is not religion. All religions are same, utterly false, a profoundly dangerous statement. Very, very dangerous statement, very damaging statement to the pristine Vedic wisdom tradition. Keep in mind, what is the Adivyotic? Adhyavik Dharma Kshetra deals with the divine entities, cognitive and emotional centers in human beings. Devata Kshetra, living outside and inside. Adhyatmik Yogadharma Kshetra, man, buddhi, ahankar, chit and chetna, all karmendriya and gyanendriya. Adivyotic Dharma Kshetra, physical, biological body, sukh sharira, at the genetic level, molecular level, and causal sharira, sthul, sukshma, ling sharir. Also material and physical constitution of the world. It comes under the Adivyotic Yogadharma Kshetra. This is the Venn diagram will help you to picture it out so that we can keep in our memories for a long period of time. Adhyatmik Yogadharma Kshetra, Adidevik Yogadharma Kshetra, Adivyotic Yogadharma Kshetra. These classifications, these fields, these kshetras also have what we call intersection. They overlap. Then there is another Yogadharma Kshetra is called the Bhagavat Yogadharma Kshetra. Is exclusively devoted to Bhakti Bhagavan. And this total entity, the big ellipse, comes under the Sanatan Yogadharma Kshetra. So this is how different layers and meanings in a broadest classification can be looked at. Bhagavat Yogadharma Kshetra, Bhakti Bhagavan, Bhakti Bhagavan Kshetra, and then all this includes in the Sanatan Yogadharma Kshetra. The original foundational Yogadharma Kshetra, born with the creation, Srishti, birthing, enclosing, and pervading all the other Yogadharma Kshetra. Srishti means then it came into sthiti, sustenance, Yogadharma Kshetra of the existence, Pralaya, Yogadharma Kshetra of the dissolution of the existence. Let us look at one of the examples we used earlier, Adivyotic Yogadharma Kshetra, not a religion. You have a hydrogen molecule, its own Dharma Kshetra, its own properties, its own form, its own quantum structure, Ruanga, Rupa, Gola, Karma, internal time. Oxygen molecules. It has its own Dharma Kshetra. And Dharma Kshetra, I have talked to you earlier, how do you define entity, Dharma Kshetra, Swadharma Kshetra, Nam, Rupa, Gola, Karma, Vikarma, and Samay, time. Mutations as well. And they combine together, become a water molecule. And water molecule creates its own Dharma Kshetra, which does not appear in the hydrogen molecule or oxygen molecule through their Swabhav Kshetra. Does not appear. It appears when they combine together. This is the yogic integration, my dear listeners. Kshetra means a ground, a foundation consists of an identity matrix comprising name, structure, properties, active potential, mutation, and internal time. So, Subhav Dharma. Chemical process, the union of yogic process. All the existing entities, biological, non-biological, have their own Swabhav Yogadharma-Kshetra, which is dynamic by its innate nature. It's not static. Every entity in this universe has a dynamic characteristics. Internal time, under all kinds of movements. Not static. Static is a special position and condition of the dynamic world. Now I will tell you another very important thing that the scientific community is still not sure how to do it, how to understand it. If I give you the quantum structure of the hydrogen molecule, quantum structure of oxygen molecule, and ask you to predict all the properties of water under all conditions, the verdict is it cannot be done. We cannot predict all the properties. We have to know a lot of intermediate levels of yogic process, different intermolecular forces, how they combine together. I had to have experimental values, real concrete values at different levels so that we can model to come up with the water molecule. It's a wonder. Water molecule becomes, for example, let me give you another beautiful example to differentiate some of the ideas. Sodium chloride is a salt which is necessary for the body. Sodium chloride is made out of sodium and chlorine. Chlorine molecule is lethal for us. How come sodium and lethal molecule come together to provide a property where new property emerges, sodium chloride, salt, which is essential for our human body? You cannot inhale chlorine. It is so toxic. You are inviting death of this human body. So even if two entities are of different, totally different nature, different subhava, but when they can come together and make a yogic union, then if the resulting entity gives us the properties of dharma, new dharma, that is harmonious, orderly, useful, meaningful for our existence, that is a wound. It's itself, though individual elements, some of the elements may have damaging toxin characteristics, but when they combine together, they can provide a proper entity with its own dharma. This is very important to realize at this moment in time. Let me give you another example, which you see. Yogic union and dharma. Visible light, I call it as a yogic union of 7 colors, Vibgyor. 7 colors are united in a harmonious way such that you get one visible light with same velocity. Their frequency and wavelengths are different, but this is the yogic union. So light itself is a yogic union of primary colors, primary frequencies and wavelengths. And you might say, what is the swabhav and swadharma of the human body and sarira? These are the 6 swabhav or swadharma of human body. Body is born, body grows, develops, reaches organized, coordinated, limiting configuration. Body stays and remains youthful. Body gets old and diseased. The body decays and body meets its own death. These are the dharma, swadharma of the human body or any body of living entity. That's what they grow through, this process. So human sarira is again to begin with a union of Atma and Prakriti. That's the first union took place before the cosmos was unfolded. Purus and Prakriti came together to create Srishti. There is another Sarir called Ling Sarir, which contains karmic residues enveloping Atman, goes through cycles of birth and death. So all the traces, all the sanskar, residual sanskar in human body, they, at the time of death, they get embedded into the Ling Sarira. And that Ling Sarira envelopes the Atman. And this whole entity then goes through cycles of birth and death, rebirth, living, dying, till we have the final exit when this Ling Sarira is totally detached from Atman. Atman becomes, that's they call Kevalya, the detachment. Union, let's look at another mystery here. Union, act of joining, uniting, state of being joined, united. I have talked about this. 1 + 1 = 2. This is numerical union. 1 + 1 = 1. Yogic union, such as the first stage of fertilized female egg. A sperm and egg with its own dharma, its own kshetra, its own internal structure. 1 + 1, when they combine together, they provide a first one fertilized egg. Pati and Patni, a yogic union of Pati and Patni, entering into the Grahast ashram, creating a Grahast ashram, is 1 + 1 greater than 2. 1 + 1 + 1 = 1. You say, are you crazy? No. Give you example here. A, U, M, 3 sounds combined together give you this one sound, Om, one pranava. So new emergence of the ideas for last 10, 15 years, 20 years, coming in the sociological, biological, chemical, legal, political, economic, ecological systems, the physics, the chemistry, in all systems, whole is greater than sum of its parts. Traditionally, it has been assumed that whole is sum of its part, but that is not true in general for all the entities. Human body is not equal to sum of its all components. Human body is a yogic body where all these components, all the organs come together in a very harmonious, orderly way to create new entity, total human body. So the human body configuration, internal and external, Nam, Rupa, Guna, Karma, all this is a not sum of all the organs together. This plus this plus this. It's a new entity emerges. It has own total dharma, its own total swabhav, its own personality, its naam, rupa, guna, kshetra. Karma, bikarma, bikar, mutation, bikar, and internal time. So beautiful. Let's look at the kshetra. It has a long history starting from the Vedas. I'm not going to dwell upon the entire history. It appears almost all major scriptures, the term kshetra. But kshetra field became the center piece of the Bhagavad Gita. Dharam start with dharam kshetri kurukshetri. Samveta yutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaive kim kuruvat sanjay. In the field of dharma, in the field of kurus. Field of kurus, Kurukshetra is a geographical, physical land or region. Dharam Kshetra is the manifold nature of all those who have assembled there to go for battle. Then another very much 13th chapter. Idam sariram konteye kshetramitya vidiyate. This body, O son of Kunti, is called the field. Been talking about this kshetra. And him who knows it is the knower of the field. So it has been said, those who know it. And know that I am the knower of field in every field. Knowledge of this field and the knower of this field, I deem to be true knowledge. Kshetra Chetagni Yoga, that's the chapter 13, Bhagavad Gita. If you know your field, it means human body, internal and physical body. If you know your field, Kshetra, all the combinations, calculations, all the chemical reactions, all the functions, physiology, anatomy, all those kind of neurology, all those kind of configurations, if you know them that you are Atman, knower of the field. Also, you should know that there is another Paramatman, Prakriti, Purus, Purushottam. If you know all those, you have experience of all those, direct realization of all those, then you are the Param Jnani. That's the true knowledge. Dimensions of meaning, for example, a unit of physical space from Rig Veda, a model characterized by geometric form, a biological category, generative process, for example, woman, a body and knower of body, Bhagavad Gita, physical, metaphysical, mathematical, mystical, inner, outer, macrocosm, microcosm, the whole earth is Kshetra. The position of the stars in the sky is also Kshetra. See Bhagavad Quran. Whatever you see, you teach Kshetra. This can be, for example, gravity field, electromagnetic field, quantum field, audio field, chemical field, biochemical field, neurological field, Bhat, Kapha, Pitta fields, Ayurveda, mind field, Ahankar field, Buddhi field, Chitta field, etc. These fields can be visible or invisible. But effects can manifest various ways that cannot be measured in many cases. Between you and I, we have what we call through this, we have in the you and I, a union taking place through this, what you call technical gadgets, zoom. And how does it go through? An electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic audio field combined together make this happen. So you are familiar with the field, you are familiar with Kshetra, but may not exactly know the whole world of the Kshetra. Let's look, I have given a new name. 23 chromosome, male and female, sperm and egg combined together. 46 chromosome come together, make the first fertilized cell. This is a yogic union of male sperm and female egg, and I call it Garbhadharana Yogadharma-Kshetra. Each one of those has its own Swadharma, own Kshetra. When they combine together through yogic union, it becomes first fertilized egg. It's called the conception. I think for me, proper term is Garbhadharana Yogadharma-Kshetra. How do I represent? All this whole field of Lokasamgraha Yogadharma-Kshetra pictorially. How I can represent, and this is the Aswat Vraksha. The pictorial representation and the actual representation of the Vraksha itself most wonderful and unique. It starts from Rig Veda. And in this Kalp Vraksha, Bhagavad Gita, Aswat Vraksham, it means the roots from the seed comes out of the roots, and from roots comes out the trunk, and the trunks slowly grows up to their own limits, and the branches of branches, branches of branches, and then finally you have leaves, you may have fruits. So there's a branching term. Whenever you have multidimensional field, the most appropriate representation of its all dimensions, including all the branches, is the Vraksha. Flow chart that we use all the time in every field of contemporary knowledge. In the organization, you have what you call the flow chart. Here sitting on the top, the boss, and then you have several components, several departments. And what is that picture? That picture is nothing but a Vraksha. Look at the beauty and wonder of these representations. So, my dear friends, in this lecture, I want to conclude in a couple of slides. Bear with me. Lokasamgraha Yogadharma-Kshetra is a sadhana, even for yogi. Keep in mind, this is the lesson that you keep in mind, even if you forget all other things, that Lokasamgraha Yogadharma-Kshetra, स्वयं का उत्थान और समाज का उत्थान, पूरे विश्व का उत्थान, पूरे ब्रह्मांड का उत्थान करने के लिए सेवा करना, कर्तव्य करना, धर्म करना, आचरण करना, व्यवहार करना, ये एक साधना है. Even you have reached the highest state of yoga. Concluding thoughts on this course. Meaning analysis have been discussed in reasonable detail, though still very brief. For each of the multidimensional term, Lokasamgraha Yogadharma-Kshetra, along with the meaning of its integrated field. Existence of all the above four fields discovered and identified to be universally pervading entities. They represent also the deeper order of beauty and wonder. These fields are intertwined and embodied divine world, human world, a natural world. Metaphysical and peculiar representation is in Aswat Vraj. Intertwined. So create our cognitive field, Kshetra, where these can be looked at from the point of view of Lokasamgraha Yogadharma-Kshetra. Meditating, acting accordingly constitute a yogic sadhana even for yogi. Whole field has demonstrated a deeper harmonious order of beauty. In fact, this is a grand Sangeet lok, musical world. It's a great artistic world or not the world. We will talk about in the second level, of course. This intellectual emotional journey together, though unveiling hidden dimensions of Vedic wisdom, integrating some of the new ideas, concept dimensions, has been very inspirational and enriching experience for me, as it should have been to you as well. My dear listeners, journey continues. Wait for the second part of the course coming up. A preview for next level course, how the abstract idea and concept discussed in the first course, how they manifest on the practical grounds to deal with various domains, personal, social, professional, legal, political, national, international. Specifically, journey will be full adventures of beauty, order, harmony, and wonder to deal with various topics that include further broadening and deepening of Yogadharma-Kshetra in various disciplines of life's journey, including Ayurveda. Varnashram Dharma-Kshetra, Sanskar Dharma-Kshetra, Natya Lok, Sangeet Lok, Kala Lok, Sanskriti, Sanskritik Lok, Temple and Murti Puja Lok. And this will give us a clue to retune our human personality, sing new ragas that will give us the answer to the question how one can see, think, talk about, act in this world, personal, family, social, and professional domains. This world as it is going to be in front of you, as it is the objective world. How do you see it? How do you find meaning in the existence? How do you find meaning in the relationship? How do you see it as a unified Lokasamgraha? And this vision, this viewpoint, this cognitive understanding, that way of acting in this world through different levels and entities, that is really what you call the ultimate yogic experience, living in this world. So with this final note, let us sing together. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Hunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahi Tejastu Navadhitumastu Ma Vidyusavahi. Om Santi 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 Hari Om. Now, my dear listeners, I humbly request with my folded hands for forgiveness from you, all kinds of offenses that I may have committed during this course. Plus, I need your blessings. Otherwise, without blessings, I will not move towards the enlightenment, towards the yogic union. I need your blessings because you are part and parcel of Paramatman. You have that capacity. You are a divine entity. You have that power capacity to bless me. My gratitude to your attention, and I am a sevak of Vedic Rishi. I am a singer. I am a gaik. आई एम ए ट्रेवलर, जन्म से बंजारा हूं बंधु, जन्म जन्म बंजारा, घर ना घाट नयनतार, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, सारी पृथ्वी हम मेरा घर है, सारी पृथ्वी के सभी जीव जंतु मेरा परिवार हैं, सभी मानव मेरा परिवार है। मेरी यात्रा भीड़ में होते हुए भी अकेली है, अकेली होते हुए समस्त भीड़ को अपने अंदर समाहित करती है। सत्यमेव जयते, सत्यमेव जयते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। Your questions, please. Thank you. Appreciate very much your kindness. I can stop sharing now.
तो अंकल नमस्ते, राधे राधे।
राधे 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 राधे।
आप ये पूछते हैं कि कोई प्रश्न, इतना सुनने के बाद तो प्रश्न भूल जाता है, सब प्रश्न हो जाता है। प्रश्न ही प्रश्न हो जाता है कि पूछूं तो क्या पूछूं आपसे।
हर उत्तर ही प्रश्न है और हर प्रश्न ही उत्तर है।
इसीलिए मैंने केवल आपको राधे राधे बोलने के लिए कहा है, तो प्रश्न तो मेरा प्रश्न नहीं रहा।
वाल्मीकि जी, बहुत 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 अद्भुत धन्यवाद आप सबको। और भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम मूढ़मते। Any other question? Any other comment?
Very uplifting talks, actually. It's opening up all our channels. It's opening up all our channels, to go back who we are.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But I have a question, Shivji. Why were like when we are a pure being, Brahmans, we are Brahmans, right? Part of that creation. So why we were born in those bondages and all, like the first time when we were born, we had no karmas, right? So how does, there is no answer to this. If the child asks you, how did you come? Why were you born? And it's okay, we know that our parents, if we keep going, but we don't know why it was created, right? This kind of structure.
Yes, it's a beautiful, wonderful, deeper question. And this question really hinges on the why do we exist? Why the world exists?
Yeah.
That's the question, hinges on this big question. Why there is existence at all to begin with?
No, when we are a pure Shuddh Atma, तो हम लोग पाप करेंगे क्यों? हमने पाप ही क्यों करना है फिर हमको? हमको कर्मों के बंधन में बंधना ही क्यों है?
That is right. And this is really requires several layers of understanding.
I know that.
Yes, and the first layer is why the world exists.
I know.
Bhagavan says, this is my Leela. I became the whole universe. I am Purushottam, and I gave out Purush and Prakriti and asked and incited the union of Purush and Prakriti. I am playing with myself for myself. It is up to your ajnana, which is a part of the jnana, built in this body, built this universe, that you don't recognize. You recognize yourself to be a separate entity, and that's why you come into the bondage. So the bondage itself, jnana, ajnana together, bondage itself becomes the part of the Leela.
Yeah.
Part of the stage, you have several actors on the stage. Yeah. And everyone is playing his or her own part. But we have to realize that actually, no, I'm not independent of the Purushottam, who is the greatest nut, who's playing Leela. Well, I wanted to become many and in all. This was my मन में मेरा एक विचार आया कि मैं बहुत हो जाऊं, एको हम बहुत श्यामा. मैंने अपने आप को ही बहुत बना लिया.
Yes.
Only difference is the world will not continuously going on and on till we have Purush and Prakriti coming together. And Prakriti contains all the jnana and ajnana within itself. That's the subhava of Prakriti, Raj, Tamas, and Sattva. So in order to have this continuous existence, till pralaya existence, we have to have a mechanism or number of mechanisms through which this continuity will keep on going. So you have this field where it will trap you, bondage, and you have this body, same body can give you that experience that detaches your Atman from the Prakriti. It has Yoga Vritti, it has Bhoga Vritti together. So the bondage really is the bondage due to our ignorance, which is a part of the Prakritic field that comes along with my birth. If you have, for example, if you go back to look, that's why the ages, 4 ages, Satyuga, Dwapar, Treta, Kali Yuga, in different age, different dharma dominates. Different kind of personalities come into play. Different kind of plays are being staged out. So that is a perpetual existence, keep on going. And Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Meri Leela chalti rahe, Meri Leela chalti rahe. I should keep playing. And whenever I want to take rest, I will do that Leela of Pralaya. And then with that Pralaya, each and every entity will be absorbed and staged within my majestic, mysterious Sarira with their own karmas. Because the karma siddhant has to be there before this perpetuation can continue. This process can continue. You have to have a karma siddhant. And you have to, again, accordingly, the ling sarira through which the rebirth and migration phenomena of the Atman will take place from one world to different world. So this bondage, as you talked about, very beautiful. The bondage to begin with between Purush and Prakriti, this union of Prakriti Purush, this gives us also aspect of the bondage, which is nothing but the part of the divine Leela. I hope it makes some sense to you. It requires...
And it becomes, then it becomes the conflict, right? We keep talking, this sansar jo hai, ye illusionary hai, bhaj govindam, mood mana. So, pata nahi. Anyway, thank you so much.
That is correct. As soon as the jnana come along together, you will have bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as the ajnan is separated out from the jnana, then you have what you call liberation. You have emancipation, you have moksha. So the two are dharma together, jnana together. That's why Sat Rajtam, they have to coexist. Sat Sarup cannot exist by itself alone. Sat Rajtam. And Bhagavan Krishna says it's a very beautiful 3 paradoxical statements together in order to define the existence and beyond.
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am Sat as well as Asat.
Asat.
I am neither Sat nor Asat.
Asat.
And I am beyond Sat and
Sat
Asat,
and
the
Asat.
source of Asat and Sat. All three paradoxical statements and different layers have to be together in order to make sense of the existence and beyond.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
आपका
you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. प्रणाम.
Pranam. Any other question or comment? Otherwise, we can bind up. And I invite all of you and your friends and family to get ready for the next course, which is the, what he called part 2 of the whole field of Lokasamgraha Yogadharma-Kshetra. We will be working on it, and soon you will get the notice when it's going to start, timing and all that. Whatever the best timing internationally and nationally, we will work on it. Myself and Rajiv Verma ji, Surti Srinivasan ji, we all three will work together to provide advanced notice for such a second course. And I invite all of you with my sincere heart, humble heart, please join in. And that course, as I discussed in the preview, that will bring these abstract and the unifying ideas onto the ground. How we have been living, how we must live, how we have been developing different Varnashram dharma, like other kind of dharma kshetra, various kind of dharma kshetra, various kind of disciplines. Why do we need it? How they can be looked at it. We will continue with that note. Thank you so much. Pranam to everyone. All of you, I bow down to you. You are so wonderful and beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor.